Welcome back, dear students. In our lesson today, we're going to do some workbook exercises. Workbook, vocabulary, and grammatical exercises. So, first of all, let's start with the appropriate word that we need to choose. Don't forget that we always read carefully the sentence in order to understand which word to use. Okay, let's start. My best friend and I are classmates, classrooms, or classes. We are in the same class at school. So, since we are in the same class, we are classmates, of course. Number 2. At our school, uniforms are demanding, compulsory, or secondary. We have to wear them. Since we have to wear them, it means that it is an obligation. So, they are compulsory. They are obligatory. Number 3. Today, the teacher gave us a list of 10 new words to study by heart, revise by heart, or learn by heart for a test next lesson. Don't forget that you need to find the expression. So, what do we say? We say that we learn something by heart. So, we try to memorize it. Number 4. Phil's timetable is very demanding, compulsory, or secondary. He is always busy at school and often tired. Since all his timetable is something that he needs to work a lot, that means that the timetable is really demanding. So, he needs to work a lot. He doesn't have time to do other stuff probably. Number 5. Ruby doesn't have enough time for art this year. So, she has decided to revise it, so to revise art, to drop art, or to pass art. What have we learned in our lessons? When we don't have time for a subject, we might leave it. So, we drop this subject and we might do it the next year maybe, or we don't do it at all. This is, of course, in some schools. This is not applied in the Albanian schools. Number 6. Jacob wasn't in the maths lesson again today. He often passes lessons, drops lessons, or skips lessons. There is a difference here, we have already said, between drop a lesson and miss a lesson. When we don't choose to do this lesson at all, we drop the lesson, as we said in art. But if we have chosen to do the lesson and maybe sometimes we don't go in these lessons, then we say that we skip a lesson. So, for once, I might not go, or for sometimes, for a couple of times, I choose not to go in the lesson. So, I skip the lesson, and of course, this is very bad. I don't think he will pass the exam because he is not in the lessons. He is not attending the lesson. And number 7, my cousin does a course in photography, learns a course in photography, or passes a course. Do not try to translate the expression. You have to think in English. And the expression, of course, is that my cousin does a course. Okay? He follows, he does, he has chosen to do a course. Let's continue. We are given the phrasal verbs with get. Get better, get late, not get to school, get to the station, get home, get tired, not get a text message, and get to work. We need to put these phrasal verbs in the text according to the meaning. Many times we might feel that 1 or 2 might be the appropriate words. As we've said, don't forget to read the sentence until the end. Okay, let's start. I am 16 and my brother Charles is 25. He is much older than me, but people say we have a lot in common. I am not sure about that, but on a normal day, our lives are quite similar. We get up at 7, have breakfast, and then together we walk for the train. We at 8 and catch the same train. So since we catch the same train, what do? We get to the station. I have already told you that it helps you to continue reading because those small words make you decide which is the appropriate expression. So we get to the station to catch the train into town. Charles at 8:30. So we caught the train and Charles gets to work at 8:30. But I meet my friends. So I don't go with Charles. I meet my friends. So I don't get to school so early. Why? Because I meet my friends. So the expression, we put a negative form, don't, in the present simple. When school finishes, my brother and I usually meet at the school gate and travel home together. This means that we normally, what? Take a look at the expressions. We normally get home at the same time. We have dinner, I do my homework, and then we often watch TV together. So, he did his homework, they watched TV, and it got late, of course. So, when it gets late, what happens when it gets late? You usually get tired. So he gets tired. Don't forget the S in the third person. He gets tired. So he goes to bed. I usually stay up a bit later. Perhaps our days are so similar because he is a teacher at my school. So, as you can see, we used the phrasal verbs and we have got 2 extra ones that we do not need. Let's move on. We are given the words boost, absorb, sprain, recover, heal, burn, ache, and vomit. All of these words have already been used and explained, but it's okay, even if you don't remember them well, we are going to see them together in the sentences. So, number 1. Drinking fresh orange juice will, take a look at the words, your energy level. So it will going to do what? It's going to boost your energy. So it's going to make you feel much more energetic than you are if you drink fresh orange juice. Amy has a stomach bug. She's been since this morning. If your stomach hurts and you don't feel well, so she's been vomiting, so she doesn't feel well with her stomach. If you want to lose some kilos, try calories through exercise. What do we do with the calories? We try to burn them, of course, by doing some exercise. Liam, his ankle last week, and it is still swollen and sore. So you might be walking or running, and then your hand, for example, or your ankle, it goes like this, so it sprains. So Liam sprained in the past his ankle. Let's continue with number 5. It's important to keep the wound clean until it has completely, take a look at the words, until the wound has completely healed, of course. So, when we're talking about a wound, we are using the word heal. That means it gets completely better. Number 6, our body absorbs nutrients from the food that we eat. So what does it take, our body? It absorbs, it takes all the nutrients that we need, that our organism needs. Number 7, my legs were after I had to run the marathon. So imagine that somebody took the marathon and his legs are hurting, are aching. So aching means hurting. And number 8, Frank is in hospital. And of course the word that has remained, recovering from a hip operation. Always what is after the verb when we have prepositions, for example, that helps you, of course, to choose the appropriate word. Let's move on. We have got 4 different places to buy things. We've got the butchers, where we buy all the things that have to do with the meat. We've got fishmongers, so where we find different kinds of fish. We've got the greengrocers, where we buy vegetables and fruit. And we've got the bakers, where we can buy different things that have to do with bread, with biscuits. And we are given the words to put them in the appropriate categories. Of course, that is not difficult. I would like from you to put the words with me. So let's start. We take the first one, bread rolls. Even if you don't know exactly what it is, think of bread. So, of course, we're going to buy bread rolls in the bakers. Peppers, vegetables. So, we're going to buy them in the greengrocers. Apple pie. It is a pie. It's made out of flour. So, of course, we're going to buy it in the bakers. Let's move on. Onions. What did we say? The vegetables and the fruit are bought in the greengrocers. So, onions. Potatoes. Again, they are bought in the greengrocers. Beef. Beef is meat, of course. So, we're going to buy it in the butchers. Cake. What did we say? In the bakers, we buy sweet things. We might buy the bread and other stuff that can be made out of flour. Crab. Crab is a type of fish. So we're going to buy it in the fishmongers. Trout is another kind of fish. If you want to, you can search on the internet and find exactly what does a trout look like or what does a crab look like. Lamb is again a type of meat. So we're going to buy it in the butchers. Broccoli. You all know broccoli, that is a vegetable. So we're going to buy it in the greengrocers. Sardines. Another type of fish that is very similar to the Albanian word. Sardines. I'm sure you understand which fish is it. Biscuits. Biscuits again, we're going to buy them in the bakers. And finally, the salmon, that is easy for you to find out. We're going to buy it in the fishmongers. Let's move on. We need now to choose the appropriate word, the correct word. Again, we try to understand from the meaning of the sentence which is the correct word. Okay, number 1. A free flu vaccination or a flu tablet is available to anyone. Since it is available to anyone, it means that all of us can go through this vaccination flu. We can all get it. It is available for everyone. Number 2, vomiting is the main notice or the main symptom of food poisoning. And of course, it is the main symptom. So we can see that if somebody has this symptom of vomiting, it means that probably there is a food poisoning. Number 3, you can suffer from flu or from indigestion if you eat too quickly. So, if you eat too quickly, that means that you are harming your stomach. So, you are going to have problems with your indigestion. That means that your stomach cannot go through this process carefully, or let's say easily. You're going to have problems. Your stomach probably is going to hurt. Number 4. Jacob has a seafood reaction or a seafood allergy, so he doesn't eat fish. If you are allergic to something, you know that probably, and you choose not to eat that specific food. Scientists have been searching for a therapy or for a cure for the common cold for years. They have been searching for a cure for cold. Therapy is something that you go through in order to overcome the problem, whereas cure is something that you need so that this problem does not appear again. John received treatment or received healing from a specialist doctor. What did he receive? Of course, he received treatment so that he can treat, he can solve the problem that he has. Paul is having an operation or is having a prescription this afternoon. Look at the words. He is having an operation. Prescription is that medicine that the doctor gives you in order to get better. Number 8. Freddy has a bad sneeze or a bad cough. He needs to see the doctor. There is a problem with you when you have a cough. There is a serious problem. Whereas sneeze might happen, okay, it's something that might happen to everyone, and it doesn't really mean that it's something serious. Number 9, the doctor gave Rosie a prescription or instruction for some flu medicine. We said that when the doctor gives you medicine, the doctor gives you a prescription. And I am allergic to nuts. I've come out in a rash or in an irritation. When you are allergic to something and maybe some spots come over your body, then that is called a rash. Okay, one more exercise for us through our workbook exercises and grammatical exercises. We focus on the first conditional. So, we are given these words and we need to put them in the correct order. As you can see in the example, if you study hard, you'll pass your final exam. Take a look at the words that you are given. We start with he will, so you need the verb now. He will what? He will find the verb. He will forget my number. If he doesn't, write it down. So we go one by one and we are given the verb. He will forget what? He will forget my number. If he doesn't do what? If he doesn't, write it down. In this way, we can continue with the rest. Number 2. If, take a look please, if who? Ask yourselves, if Samantha doesn't do what? If Samantha doesn't hurry up, and then we have the comma, she will miss her train. We have already said we use if plus present simple, and then the other part is will and infinitive. Number 3, I am, take a look please. I am, what can we put? I am sure, of course. I'm sure he will understand if you do what? If you tell him how you feel. Let's move on. You are given these words again, so take them, look at them carefully. if, what happens? If you don't, and take a look at the verb, if you don't listen, how do you listen? You listen carefully. What will happen? You won't know what to do. So one by one, the words with some logic, of course. Number 5. Look at the words given. Anita. What will happen to Anita? Think of the words and then you can find the answer. So Anita won't dance with you if you don't do what? If you don't ask her. And number 6, these are the words given. So Sam will go back to school tomorrow if he feels better. So always you have the if clause and the result clause. Here we start with the result. So Sam will go back to school tomorrow. This is the result. If, what happens? If he feels better, of course. And we have one more exercise with the second conditional. Don't forget, we've said if plus past simple now. The second part is going to be with would plus infinitive. So, if Mandy in the past was or were, we can use them both. A teacher, she would get long holidays. Now we start with the result. So we need would, and this is negative. Adam wouldn't be living with his parents if he had a job. So, if clause with the past simple and would in the result clause. If Harry again was or were a mechanic, he would fix the car. As we see, we have the same example. Number 4. If you worked for your father, you have a question now. Be careful. So you need to put, first of all, the auxiliary verb. So, would you argue all the time? Number 5. We would move out of our flat if the houses in our area, what? You need if plus past simple. So, if our houses didn't cost so much money. So we've got in the second part if plus past simple, and the other part is would, of course. And number 6, you have a question again. Be careful. You've got you feel depressed. If our team, you can start from if it is easier for you. So if our team lost the World Cup, you can continue. Would you feel depressed? So in this way, it helps you to find out if you're going to put the past simple form or the would form. So that was the end of our workbook and grammatical exercises. I would like to thank you for paying attention and don't forget to revise them many, many times. Goodbye.